They were trying to get me to do something so that, or to react physically so that they will have a case against me. I went out to buy something just for the food to cool so that I'll be able to eat. I came back into the kitchen and my food was in the sink with dirty dishes. Then I got an email from Google that 3 people reported my channel. And before I sat down, they told me they've had a meeting and they've decided that I was in violation of my visa status. Therefore, they are going to start the process of withdrawing my visa. Ha! I remember me and Messi look at ourselves like, what did we throw? What did you catch? Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele-Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. For a new subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. For real, guys. Thank you guys so much for the love, for the support that you guys have been giving my channel. Thank you guys, I really do appreciate you. Okay, all right, so today I want to talk about the question everyone has been asking me since we moved here. I think in the very first and subsequent relocation vlog that, you know, I've spoken about certain things that I went through. And if you've been following this channel from last year, you know the story, you just don't know the details, but I gave hints, you know, about what was happening to me during that season. And you know, at a point I had to move out of the house I was living in and move into a different apartment and all of those things. I mentioned them, but I did not like go into details. I'll leave the videos because I think that those videos are important, because I was going through it when I recorded those videos. And I think it's important to give you context in case you haven't seen those vlogs that I did. But if you've been following me since last year, you know that, you know, I've discussed what I was going through, that I was, you know, at a point I was in a very bad place mentally. I was going through a lot. I did not go into details because I was not ready to share yet. So anyways, a number of you have been asking me to talk about the roommates that I had in the US when I was there, and what happened during that season. And I just want to share. I will be giving you enough details for you to understand what actually happened, but not too much details, just because again I think that this is just a case of, you know, when I don't even know if this is the Bible, but there's a saying that, you know, God will use anything. He will even use the devil to deliver his meal. And I think that was what happened. I think that these girls that I stayed with thought they were, you know, when Joseph's brother, when they sold him to slavery, and he told them, he said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, so he will preserve your lives. I think they thought they were doing evil. They thought they were, you know, showing me, but they did not know that, you know, God had other plans, that God was actually using them to get my attention. So without talking too much, let me try to summarize and explain what happened. So you guys know that in August last year I moved. I went to the US to pursue my master's degree, and upon getting there, you guys know I stayed with Mercy. It was in Mercy's place that I stayed for a couple of weeks. But Mercy was not in a hurry for me to leave. Like, she was so accommodating, so welcoming and all, but I have never been comfortable staying in somebody else's space. I love to be in my space. And also because I was moving into a new country, I needed to be able to get settled. I needed to, you know, settle in before school started. You know, that was my plan. Before I came, Mercy had told me to look at apartments and accommodation, get those things sorted before I came in, but I wanted to see where I was going to stay. So because of that, I did not get my apartment settled. Anyways, I got in and it became a thing of, okay, I need an apartment desperately. And we looked around, we looked Facebook. Facebook is usually where you like get people who want to sublet their apartment. And eventually we went to agents. We went to the leasing office, sorry, not agents, the leasing office. And I remember I went to the Harrison, and they told me they had a room available, and they told me the cost, it was within my budget. So I paid, and I'm like, yeah. So before I went, of course, Mercy had told me that I should be careful of staying with undergrads. And I think that's a great advice. You know, if you're a grad student, try and get apartment or accommodation with your fellow grad students, because graduate school in the US is very, very, like, demanding and tasking, right? So it's hard for you to see a graduate student that is just partying and drinking and living recklessly, but you will see a lot of that with undergrads. So she warned me, but the problem was I wanted to see the people I was going to live with, but the leasing offices, I did not know that they won't let you see. They won't even let you know. They won't even give you the names of the people or tell you what level they are. They won't give you any information. They just put you, they tell you need a room. Okay, so it's a four-bedroom apartment, and each person has a room. You share the common areas. You share the kitchen, the living room, and you share the bathroom with one other person. I wanted a private bath. That was what I wanted, but by the time I went to the apartment, all the private baths were taken, and in the other apartments also they were not available. So it was, you have to share, you know, a bath with one person. So I'm like, okay, I mean, it's not too bad, I can share with one person. So I didn't really think much about it. I remember they assigned me a room. I was even in Mercy's room, Mercy's office, when they sent me the list of the people I'll be living with. So they sent me the list of these 3 girls. From their names I knew they were white, and I didn't have any issues with that. I've lived and worked with white people before, so it's not a problem for me. Anyways, I remember one of them texted me and said, hey, she was asking me, how old are you, where are you from, da 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 da, and I answered them, and they're like, they hope I don't have any pets. I said I don't, and I hope they also don't, and they said they did not, and I was like, oh, awesome, great. So anyways, fast forward, I moved in to the apartment, and I should have known from the very first day I moved in, you know, there's a saying that life is lived forward, but it's best appreciates backwards. Yeah, it was after everything unfolded that I started to see a lot of things that didn't make sense when I moved into the apartment. I mean, before now, I went to the US in 2019. I was working, I wasn't schooling at the time, but I lived in a shared apartment, and there were a lot of nonsense that I saw in this apartment that I never experienced anywhere. I mean, I lived with Mercy and her, you know, roommates for a while, and nothing like this ever happened. I've seen my other friends' houses, and nothing like that ever happened. So anyway, so I moved in, and I think the first thing I went into the kitchen was I noticed that they had their names written on their cupboards, which was odd to me. I mean, why do you have to? Because I don't know, it's weird. I know for a lot of Nigerians it might not be, because, you know, we can be one kind, but in the US it's very weird for you to like have sticky notes and put your names on it. And then I opened the fridge and their stuff, you know, to the point of, you know, maybe what they call it, your butter or salad dressing, you see their names on the bottle. They labeled like everything. I won't call their names, but they just wrote their names on all of them, and I didn't really think much to it. I'm like, maybe that's how they do their things, because I know that normally for the fridge in the houses that I have shared before in the US, everyone has a compartment in the fridge. Like, everyone you know where your thing is. And moreover, I know I don't eat what they eat. I don't drink what they drink. I don't, you know, anyways. So all of these things, by the way, I have, because I had to file a case at a point. I had to file a harassment case with the school, and I have them in my email, but I won't be sharing those things because I don't think they're necessary. Anyway, so so I moved in, and I remember when I first came in, before I came, they told me that the person I'll be sharing the bathroom with had COVID, so blah blah blah. I was like, how is that going to happen? They said, oh, she's in isolation or whatever. Anyways, I moved in, and the first person I met was the person I would be sharing a bathroom with, and let's call her S, right? And I remember I saw her in the patio. If you're familiar with my old vlogs, you know that we have like a balcony or patio or something. When I came in, I didn't meet anybody. It was me and Mercy, of course, that went in. We're just speaking a language, just, you know, just talking. I didn't even know there was anyone around, and you know, I just went out and I looked and I saw she was there. I'm like, you saw someone come in, I mean, you couldn't even say hi or whatever, or maybe she didn't hear me, so I will always give benefit of that. Maybe she didn't know that anyone was in, but they knew I was moving in that day. So she came out. I was like, hi, what's your name? I talked to my name. As I was talking, the other 2 people came out. So I introduced myself to everyone. They seemed really nice. I mean, I didn't really have any issues with it. I could tell that they are party people, because the moment I came, I saw a lot of drinks and shot glasses and, you know, games and stuff in the living room. I could tell that, yeah, these people will be partying a lot. But I got my mind prepared So, but I didn't really think much again about it. I just wanted to move in. Remember that day I went to the supermarket, I bought my pans, my pots, everything, because I know we don't cook the same thing. I don't even know what their living dynamics is, but I would rather just have my own things so that we don't have any issues. But when I remember I was cooking and I was cooking in the kitchen, one of them came and said, oh, if I need to use anything, I can use anything in the kitchen, blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh, thank you very much. So I know the only thing I ever used that belonged to them was their knife and their cutting board, yeah, their chopping board. That was the only two things I ever used that belonged to them. I had everything, like including my sponge, my soap, everything. I had them, just because I don't want trouble. First of all, they are younger than me, like they are like my younger brother's age. I don't think my younger brother is older than them because they are quite young. And you know, I'm a grad student. There is a lot of pressure on you. If you're an American grad student, you know. So, and I'm not a person that, if you know me, people, when they see me online, they assume I'm an extrovert. I should understand, I used to claim that I'm an extrovert because people always assume that that's who I am. So if you ask my personality type, I'll tell you I'm a sanguine, but I really am not. I'm not the person that would see a person in the, you know, a stranger and be, you know, asking you about your day or or, you know, like my friend Christy. Like Christy would see a total stranger and before the end of the day, they are friends. I'm not like that. I don't know how to approach people. I'm very shy. Really, I am a very, very shy person. In real life, I don't know how to talk to people. I get anxiety, like I get heart palpitation whenever I want to talk in public. Like that's how, you know, how much of an introvert I actually am. But people don't know that. They think because I talk a lot on camera, they think when they see me in real life I'm like that. I am not. I really am that person that, you know, I can be in my room forever. If you don't talk, the thing is, if you talk to me, I will be friendly. But if you expect me to be the one to start a conversation and stuff, I'm not just that person, right? So, and I realized that they are really close friends. Like it didn't take long to know that. So everything was going well until I think, okay, the very first day I entered into the bathroom, I wanted to puke because the bathroom was filthy. I mean, they've been living there for 2 years and it was almost as if they've never washed the bathroom in the 2 years they've been living there. Not the other ladies, this particular lady that I'll be sharing the bathroom with. The bathroom was so dirty. And you guys know that I don't see details because I wear glasses. I was not wearing my glasses and I could tell that this place was horrible. But I still did not think it was that bad until the following morning when I actually wore my glasses into the bathroom. It was horrible. Oh God, I know I took pictures I sent to Mercy. I don't know if she still have them. So anyways, first of all, I know this, you know, a lot of American undergrads, a lot of them don't know how to clean up after themselves. It's not even like a stereotype, it's a reality. If anyone has lived with them before, they will tell you a lot of them it's not, you know, the way we are brought up, we're taught to sweep, to, you know, make your surroundings clean and stuff. I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying that a good number of them don't know how to do that. And I'm telling you, like, I've got a lot of complaints from like grad students that are like Africans. They don't understand how these people can live in their filth. But I knew this was going to be a problem because if there's anything I cannot stand, it's a dirty bathroom. But again, I also was very careful because I did not want to seem like, oh, she's the oldest and she's acting like she's the... Anyway, so I went into the bathroom and on my 4 nails, I washed the entire bathroom. And I wanted to call her to like, maybe let us like talk about how we're going to be cleaning the bathroom that day. But I noticed she was with her boyfriend in the room and I didn't want to be a disturbance. So instead I left a note and I'm like, hey, can we please try to leave the bathroom clean, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, maybe she found that insulting, I don't know. I just know that from that day it became a problem. So another thing that happened was I was having my bath and the place was whatever was clogged, so I had to like remove it. And if you saw the amount of hair that I had to take out, it was horrible. So when she came out, she saw it. I saw that she took the note and she threw it in the trash. So I called her. I'm like, I don't want there to be any hard feelings. I don't want her to think that, you know, it was anything. I think I'm going into too much details. Anyways, that time we called her, we had a conversation. She told me that, oh, that the maintenance guys would have taken care of the hair blockage. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I never knew that. I'm like, oh, no worries. But in my mind, I'm like, like they have to help you to like unclog your bathroom. It didn't make sense to me, but that's the way their lifestyle is there. I didn't know that. I unclogged it, I washed the bathroom, only for me to go in, and I came back outside and her boyfriend had used the toilet and he didn't flush. I beg go. Anyway, so no, to be fair, he flushed, but there was poop stain in the toilet bowl, like poop, a lot of poop stain. You cannot miss it. So I took a picture and I sent it to him, like, please, can you, like, I want to use the toilet, but I can't use it because of this. Can you please take care of it? And I think that was no, to be honest, from the very first time we met, I could tell that for some reason she, like, the other ladies were nice, were friendly, asking questions and stuff. You could tell that she was forcing herself, but I did not pay attention. Okay, again, it was in retrospect that I started to understand. So I will try not to go into it because this was like, this happened between September to December. So, and then I don't know what happened again. Oh, I think after that day, she started giving attitude. I'm telling you, this was like barely 2 weeks when I moved in. Ever since then, this lady wouldn't talk to me. She would, you know, start giving, I mean, you've only known me for a week. I would talk to the other ladies and, you know, try to like make conversation. I realized that the other ladies also stopped talking to me. So it didn't take long to realize that she's the ringleader. I think that, I don't know, it happens to be that she's the one that bought almost everything in that apartment. The TV, the chairs in the patio, she literally is the one who has, I don't know how, but anyway, she was like the leader of the pack. It was later that I got to, you know, put two and two together, right? Because everything that I said I saw when I moved in, they started to do it after I moved in. So I realized that that was the same thing they did to the last roommate who was in my room, that the person had to leave. Because, you know, when this whole thing started, I'm trying to like summarize it, they started to like start to label everything in the house again, you know, all this passive aggressive kind of things. Don't touch my thing, this TV doesn't belong to you, don't, you know, don't sit on this chair. Like, I would see notes everywhere. So I'll be in the bedroom, and this lady and whatever boyfriend and the friends, they'll be watching TV. They will increase the volume like ridiculously high, and then I think we had issues with the thermostat, right? Because we have a thermostat that controls the entire temperature of the house, and you know, during the cold season, they will still put it in very cold, and me, I get cold very easily. You bought a vent cover. If you guys are watching my vlog, if you look up my vents, you would see that I have a cover. Still, it wasn't working, you know, because they would increase it so high. I would go and reduce it. By the time I sleep, they will increase it back. They will even put it in the high and put the fan on, like not on auto, on, so that it's, and the way oh my god, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And then they will increase the volume of the TV. I had to buy earplugs. If you guys watch my vlogs, you will see that you will see a place where I have like earplugs in my room. I had to get earplugs. I had to, like, just because I'm trying to, you know, avoid any form of confrontation with them. But what actually happened that broke the camel's back was, I remember when I moved in, I saw that she had a razor, like razor that is shaving stick, that she hung in front. Like if you're bathing, she had this step thing that was in the bathroom. I didn't even know at that time that she was the one who put it there. So I went to have my bath, and I was, you know, because I'm taller than her, I was having my bath. I didn't know when my hand hit the razor because it wasn't covered and it was literally facing me. Like she hung it in a way that it's easy for it to fall. So the razor fell and it caught my leg, and there was blood everywhere because I was using hot water. So I took the razor and I threw it in the trash because my blood was on it, and I didn't want, you know, I didn't want her, because I was going to class, I didn't want her to come and use it. So I took a picture of my leg and the razor, and I told her that, can you please, you know, cover your razor or put it somewhere safe, because this just happened in the bathroom. I was expecting her to say, oh, sorry about that, I will keep it somewhere safe. Like we have a cupboard, for God's sake, you can put your razor in. But I remember, you know, before I sent it to Mercy. I'm like, Mercy, I hope this is not harsh. Mercy said, no, like, it's even on, like, why would you put a sharp object in the bathroom that you all share? Like, she was even pissed, like, why would that even happen? But me, I didn't want trouble. So I sent it to her, and the next thing this lady will send to me later in the day when she saw the message was, she sent me a picture of the razor. She went to the supermarket, snapped the razor, and sent me a picture and said, by the way, you owe me 15 pounds or something for the razor that you threw out. I'm like, what? Your razor tore me. I showed you the blood flowing on the ground. I showed you, and I threw the razor away so that you won't have to use it, and you're telling me that I should go out. No sorry, no, oh, I'm sorry that happened, no apologies whatsoever. She said I have to buy a razor because I threw the razor away. So in my mind, I'm like, so if I told you your razor cut me, and would you have used the razor? I mean, you would have thrown it away because, you know, it's infected. So so when she sent that, I told her that, oh, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Do you mind if we meet and talk? Because I wanted to explain to her that, you know, your razor cut me, and the reason I threw it away was not because I was upset, because really it wasn't. It was because I did not want it to, I didn't want you to use it after I had left, because it's like my blood is on it. Like, would you be able to use it without it? So I asked her if she had time. She said she doesn't have time, that she doesn't have anything to say to me that I owe, and then she sent me a Venmo account that I should send. At this point, I knew that, okay, this was ridiculous. So I told her that, all right, no worries, that I also have to go and get tested to be sure that I don't have any infection from the cut, that when I do the test, I will send her the receipt of the amount I spent on the test, and then she will pay me. and then she sent some nasty message. I didn't respond anymore because I felt like, okay, at this point this was getting ridiculous. So I don't know what happened. She told her other roommates, and then it became a thing. I remember I came in that evening. It was even me and Mercy. Every time we have a meeting, funny enough, Mercy was always around, and which was good because I had a witness. Funny enough, I've never had any issues with the other one of the ladies had a boyfriend who used to come around. Whenever I'm cooking in the kitchen, he's so interested in what I'm cooking. Sometimes he eats out of what I'm cooking. Like, I've never had any issues with them. But because this lady did not like me for I don't know what reason, from the very first day that I moved in, she has had it in for me. And I mean, she's a 300 level, and it's so bad that these people, the three of them, are nursing students, and you would think that they would have compassion in their heart. Oh my god. So they called a meeting. Me and Mercy attended because I did not want to be alone with them. I don't want them to say I said something I didn't say. I needed someone to stand in as a witness. So Mercy was in my room. I came into the living room, and then they were talking, and they said, oh, it was just weird. They were talking about I can't even remember, because it was something very stupid they were talking about. Oh, I was doing this, I kept quiet, I kept listening. And then one called me, I think she called me a thief or something. I said, hey? I said, please, what exactly, you know? And then they said I should stop using their stuff, this and that. I said, please, I need you to explain to me what exactly is your stuff that I use. And then she said, oh, the knives. I said, okay, your knife, no problem. And then she said the cutting board. I said, the knife and the cutting board. I said, yes, okay, so I should stop. I said, just so we are clear, the only thing I use that belongs to all of you, the only thing I use is your knife and your cutting board. And they said yes. And I said, that's okay. In short, that day I went to the market, I bought my knives, I bought a big ass cutting board. If you watch my former vlogs, you see that cutting board. I love that cutting board. Mercy took it. I bought just so that we don't have any issues. She took away the rack, the organizing rack that we have in the bathroom, that I thought was in the bathroom. I didn't know she was the owner. I just came home and I noticed that the entire rod and all the organizing whatever has been taken out. And we take concern me. I bought a basket that I put my stuff in, and I take it to the bathroom and I want to bath. I take it out. It became a thing of the three of them will leave the house and they will leave the door open. Like, now they're putting my life at risk and my safety at risk. Whenever I realize I will shut the door. And you know, they will leave notes everywhere, tell me, the thing is, apart from the meeting that we had, they did not know how to talk to me. So instead of them to talk to me, they will write notes and paste notes everywhere. They would, label all their stuff in the kitchen as if we eat the same thing. I can't even eat what people eat. Like, I've never used your stuff. So it became often like that, and at this point they were becoming really aggressive, and it became a thing of I would enter the house, they would be talking about me, laughing about me, like just weird things. But in all of this, it was affecting me, I will not lie. It was affecting my mental health. I started to have anxiety because I don't know how to, I can't stay in a place where there's tension. I've noticed that, you know, a while ago. So it started to trigger that I would not be able to sleep. I don't know what was happening. I was really praying that period, you know. I had no peace. Sometimes I would, you know, they would come in with their boyfriend or whatever and they will play music loud. I'll have to call Mercy. I can't count how many times Mercy has come to pick me up in the middle of the night just because I don't want to have a confrontation with them. I didn't want to have anything that would cause a problem with them. So Mercy will come, she'll come and pick me, and we'll go. Several times Mercy will come and pick me in the middle of the night because she knew that, you know, these people were trying to get me to do something, so that, or to react physically, so that they will have a case against me. So to prevent that from happening, Mercy would come and pick me up so that we don't have any altercation. So I remember the time I even stayed in Mercy's house for 3 days straight, and I'm paying rent. And when everything became really bad was, it went on like that. One day I was in the kitchen, I was having menstrual pain, and this was the day that, you know, everything went down. I was having pains and I could only manage to make rice and some stew eventually in the evening, and I made it. And after I finished making the food, I left it in the cooker so that it will cool. Normally if it's obstructing, it just puts my food on the island and they cook. Most times, sometimes that the other two girls, whenever it's this lady that wants to cook, she will take my things and push it as close to the sink as possible, even though there's like a whole island. So I cooked and I left it, and I needed to go and buy something. Mercy came to pick us up. I went to buy, she dropped me at home, and by the time I got home, the food I had cooked, they put it in the sink with their dirty dishes. Like, no, they saw me cooking that food. They knew, like, it's a food that the food was hot in the pot. I went out to buy something just for the food to cool so that I'll be able to eat. I came back into the kitchen, and my food was in the sink with dirty dishes. My food was in the sink with dirty dishes. At this point, I became really mad. You know, I cursed her in car. She was like, what? She was so pissed. And it became a big thing. It wasn't really a big thing, really. What I wanted to do was to take their food, because they have food in the freezer and everything, and put it in the trash. That was what I was going to do, but I don't know, the Christian in me will not let me retaliate. But I sent a message. I'm like, what kind of nonsense it is? Like, who does this? And then she was like, oh, well, why am I using vulgar word? Oh my God, I can't believe, gaslighting. You did something, and I'm saying, and I'm reporting, and one of the other ladies, she never says anything. Funny enough, when she would do things, I knew she was the one who did it. So she would do it and she wouldn't say anything, and the other two ladies would start to fight me. I remember when I wanted to have my bath, she blocked she blocked the sink that we used to brush our teeth. I even called one of the other ladies to see if they can help me to open it. They said they can't. But the moment I sent a message to the group, they somehow they were able to, like, it was just weird. Like, she would intentionally mess up the bathroom. There was a time that she threw the trash was inside the trash bin. Apparently she was the one who bought the trash bin. I had to go and buy my own trash at it, but like, even trash that will put dirt, I don't put dirt in their trash. I put mine in my own trash. So she threw all the tissue paper and everything on the floor, and she left for the holidays. Like, she would do all those messy things, and she would so when this food thing happened, I knew that, okay, this was harassment. This is no longer, I mean, they've insulted me, they've called me names, they've made it physically impossible for me to live in the house, and now they are trashing my food. Like, what's next? And these American people, God help, God forgive me, before I say one thing, they'll go and carry somebody's gun and shoot you in the house. Like, I was literally that scared that, this girl is not acting as if she's okay. She's acting like she has a mental issue. Like, that's how she was acting at that point. And I was literally scared for my life. Because how do you take somebody's food and put it in the sink with dirty? Like, how do you trash somebody's food? So when that happened, I knew that, okay, this was getting out of hand. So I went to the school to make a complaint. And the school told me I needed to make a harassment report. It was long. So the following day, I was going to make the report. Then I got an email from Google that 3 people reported my channel. I knew it was them. There was no two things about that. They said they reported my channel, that I invaded their privacy in all of my vlogs. These people, they've never shown in any of my vlogs. And then I went to watch the vlogs that they reported. There was like, the only thing I showed in that vlog was my room. I was unboxing some things. There was nothing that pointed out to, nothing. So I just, I was typing a response to Google that these are just girls that are harassing me. There's absolutely nothing in those videos that shows that I harassed them or that I invaded anyone's privacy. Please go and check it. There is literally no third party in that video. So I think Google saw it and they saw that there was really nothing there. So they trashed the case. I was still typing the response to Google when I got a message from the school. The same school I went to report yesterday that I was being harassed and targeted by my roommate sent me an email that they got a report from anonymous, from some people. It was definitely them, but the school did not want to tell me it was them because for some reason the school was protecting them. I was the one being harassed. They are the one the school was protecting. This was not anonymous. They didn't say the person said they were anonymous. They knew it was these girls. That's why I always tell you, when you're going to a PWI school, I loved GME. I'm not even going to lie. I love the school. I love my course. I love everything. But the international student body it's a mess. I'm telling you, in an international student body that you cannot find a black person, it's a mess. Anyway, so I remember they sent me an email that they just got a report that I have a YouTube channel and I'm working with brands that are paying me, that as an international student I'm not allowed to work. That at that time, funny enough, I didn't even know that having a YouTube channel or working with brands at that time was even considered against your visa. Like it did not. Because in my application, my YouTube channel was one of the reasons why I got admitted. I always talk about my YouTube channel in class. So this was the first time it was news to me that having a YouTube channel was a problem. They said it wasn't having it. It was me working with brands that I'm not allowed to work beyond 20 hours, which I was already doing in school. And I'm not allowed to, to work outside of school, blah, 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 blah. And that's against my visa, whatever. This was when they started getting messy. That they just wanted to remind me that it was against my visa, whatever. So at that point, they were literally telling me that I was violating my visa rules or whatever. And at that point, I was like, what's going on? So I sent them an email like I'll have to have a meeting with them. So they gave me a date and I came the following day. It was a Monday, it was a Friday evening they sent that email. Friday, like close of day. So on Monday I went. I thought we were going to have a meeting. Before I sat down, the two so-called international students representative or whatever were sitting there, especially one lady there. And before I sat down, they told me they've had a meeting and they've decided that I was against my visa. I was in violation of my visa status. Therefore, they are going to start the process of withdrawing my visa. Ha! I remember me and Messi look at ourselves like, what did we throw? What did you catch? When did it become like? How did visa how did it go from me reporting people that they harassed me to decent people coming to make a report to you and you not even calling me to even have a conversation or even try to find out if what they are saying is true, and you just decided without even having a conversation with me, the person the same people I told you were harassing me, the same people. It made no sense to me. And the more I kept telling this lady that this is ridiculous, like you can't, and they told me I had 5 days to leave the US. Me and Mercy were trying to make sense of it. I had to call Stanka, like, this is what is going on. Stanka was talking to me like, how can you, like, she was being targeted and harassed, and these same people came to make a report, and you're taking their side. Stanka was like giving it to them. They told me there's nothing they can do about it. They've made their decision, and that's final. I said, this can't be final. At that point, I didn't even know what to do, because literally they're telling me that I had 5 days to leave the US. And at this point, I've not even finished we're in the finals of my first semester. I didn't know. I came out of that place. It was like I was in a dream. Like, how did it move from me moving in with this racist? Because that's what that lady was. I just don't want to say it because that's what she was. That was exactly who she was. Me living with them, never having any, because they were before then they were trying to get a reaction from me that would give them a kiss. I never gave them that. So they tried to look for something. They reported me to the school, and the school, without even having a conversation with me, without even calling me to even have a conversation, told me that my visa was being withdrawn, and all I needed to do was to just go out of the country and then reapply, and then they will give. I'm telling them that if I step out of this country and you put it in my record that I'm in violation of my visa, there is no way I'm coming back into, like, this is not about my school anymore. This is about me ever returning to the US. Like, how do you even do that? And the lady was like, oh, no, like, I can just tell them that I violated this visa. She was just talking rubbish because she has never been through that system before. And that's what happens when you put a bunch of white people in an international students, institution. Absolutely no empathy. Absolutely no. Like, this lady was looking at me straight in the eye and was I'm like, God. Anyways, and then it became a battle. So I remember we came out and I was crying, and then one of the, God bless that man for me, honestly, one of the vice presidents of the school just happened to walk by, and he saw me and Mercy crying. He saw us crying in the entrance, because we moved to the 3rd floor, and I was just in the entrance of the lift, and I was just crying, and the man just was like, what happened? We said nothing. I was about to leave. He came back. He said, what happened? And I explained to him what happened, and he was like, what? The people were targeting you and harassing you? Were they want to make the reports? I said yes. And he went downstairs. He went to meet the international student body, and then he came, and then he told me that he has been able to allow for an appeal. So I should meet with the head of the global international students body. So I said, okay, at least we have something for appeal. But at this point, I had to move out of that place, and I was staying with Mercy at this point. And I remember I couldn't sleep. I'm like, God, what's going on? So the following day, I thought I was going to have a meeting. The guy did not want to meet with me. He kept saying he would. I didn't know then that was God actually helping me. But how do you make, like, I made a complaint about harassment. These girls came. You don't even want to hear from me. Like, how do you claim that you are an international student body? Like, the aim of the international student body is to help the international students. But he said this guy refused to meet with me. He said if I had anything to say to him, I should say it via mail. Hey, it was getting messy, and it was getting messy very quickly. So the mail journey started. I will send a mail, he will send a letter. And he said, anything I want to say, I should put it in a letter. He will send a letter, I'll send a letter. He will send a letter, I'll send a letter. And then in everything, the guy kept saying I should admit that I did it. And I kept saying that, first of all, there was no definition of work. Like, there are lots of students that have YouTube channels. Like, I've never heard of this before. There was nothing, no orientation, nothing. The guy was like, well, whether or not I knew, it was kiniko. I worked with brands, I got paid. I'm like, and I was saying that I did not get paid. And at this point, I wasn't getting paid. I was not getting paid. The only thing, they sent me a bag, and I reviewed. I was not, they were like, oh, whether I got paid with money or in kind, it is still payment. So I got paid. Hey, God. And then it came a thing that he told me that this is the final letter he's going to send to me. And the next letter he needs me to, is asking me one question. Did I or did I not? So basically, these girls made a report. The school did not make their findings. They did not make any sort of investigation whatsoever. They concluded that they were going to send me out of the school. Now they wanted me to admit that I did something wrong so that they can have a case against me to say, yes, she said she did, therefore we are. Because before now, they had no basis apart from the fact that these girls that were harassing me made a report. That was all they had. So I remember I was about to sleep, and the Holy Spirit, at this point it had been about a week of going back and forth, of crying, of not knowing what to do. Like, how? So I remember I prayed that night, and the Holy Spirit told me what to do. So the following morning, I sent the final email to them, because at this point I'm like, God, you know what, whatever wants to happen at this point, because there's nothing I do is going to change their mind. These people, this bunch of white people, I'm not even sorry to say it, that has no idea the struggles that it takes for an international student to come into the States to study. Absolutely no empathy whatsoever. After I was being harassed for months, with all the evidence that I made, because I literally, and and not my, one of my friends saying that was because I actually made the formal complaint, because schools want to say, oh, we are inclusive. So when they say somebody trying to make a complaint, I'm not saying that was what happened, right? Allegedly, I'm not saying that was what happened. When you make a complaint like that, some schools, I'm not saying they do that, they start to like they want to get rid of you so that it's not in their system that there was anything like that happening. I don't know if that was what happened, but that was how it seemed. Because how do you just take somebody, like, how? Anyway, so eventually, I mean, I will not admit to something I never did. I told them that I never collected anything in exchange for content during my time in the US. The only thing was I was given a brand, I was given a product to review on my channel, and because in reviewing I had to use that product, I could no longer return it. That was exactly what happened. The product was not given to me in exchange for the content. That was the last thing. That was what the Holy Spirit asked me to type, and that was what I typed. And when I typed that and they saw that there was no admission, they had no proof that I did anything, and they dropped the case. The last letter they sent to me was, okay, since I said I did not do it, they have dropped the case. And in my mind, I'm like, God, this was 1 week of agony. This was 1 week of me wondering how my record in the US, like, everything was going to be trashed. Like, this was 1 week of tears, of pain, of sleeplessness, of anxiety, of depression, because Mercy was literally feeding me. I could not eat for 5 days. It was so bad that I could not eat. Mercy would make smoothie for me, and she would literally force me to drink it because she knew that I couldn't. I was distraught. Where do I start from? Where do I go to? Do I become an illegal person? Do I go back to Nigeria without finishing? Like, how do I explain this? And to think that there was literally no empathy from the oh my God. Oh my God. So all of that happened. That was that between that October and December was the most, I don't think I've ever been through as much pain. It was horrible. I was being targeted, I was being harassed, I was being racially profiled or whatever. And the school body that was supposed to protect me was supporting their fellow white people. So at this point, so when they told me that the case was dropped, I didn't even know. Like, for the next semester, I was just a person that went to class, went to work, came back. Oh, don't let me talk about my bosses. Hey, I was working in the school. I was working in the College of Business, and my boss, she was incredible. They would drop me off at home. They would like comfort me. The director of my department, my supervisor, they were just so amazing to me during that period. My professors, they had to push my deadline for submitting my final, so that I settled that, then I submit my final. Like, they were so good to me, like really amazing people. I have absolutely no issues with the school apart from the international student body. Till I left that school, after that period, I never had any interaction. They had a fat party, they had meeting, me, never with that office, never. They call themselves global engagement, what, never. Because I knew that no. And then I started to hear from other international students, the things that this department, I'm like, because anyways, the school, great school, teaching amazing, syllabus awesome. Just don't get into trouble. Just don't get into a situation where because oh my, I can't even start. Because that office, I've never seen a more lack of empathy. Like, even if it's just no. Anyways, so it was during that period that the Holy Spirit told me, do I have your attention now? I've been telling you to do something for a while and you've been backing it. Like, and that was when this was telling me that I needed to leave the US. So all of those things brought me to a point where I had nowhere to run to but God. I would cry, I would pray, I would pray every day. And it was during that period of pain, of anguish, of depression, of anxiety that God told me clearly, this is not where you're supposed to be now. I need you to leave this country, and I need you to leave this country now. So it wasn't them. They weren't the reason I left. I mean, I finished another semester after them. We never saw each other. I mean, after I moved out, during those whole messy period, oh, I won't tell you about the apartment people also, like, because they knew about everything going on, and I don't even want to go into that because, oh my God. Anyways, so after everything happened, I moved in with another set of undergrads, and to be honest, I was a bit scared because there were also 3 undergrads. But you guys, I did a video with them. They were the most amazing, sweet people I've ever, like, amazing, sweet, young undergrad Americans that I ever lived with. Really amazing people. And then I realized that it's not all Americans. It's not all Americans undergrads. It's just them. It's just her, because it was just one person. Whenever this lady was not around, I got along fine. The other ladies, they talked to me. The moment this lady entered, they stopped talking to me. Like, anyways, so that is the summary of the gist, because I can't even go into details, because I can't even go. Those that know, they knew what happened. Like, immediately this happened, immediately this whole thing got sorted. Stanka bought me a ticket to come to Austin, to Texas, because she knew that where I was mentally was bad, and I needed to just get out of that, not even out of the house, out of that entire environment. She bought me a one-way ticket straight, and the very following day I took a flight to Austin. I can't go into the gory details. What I've given you guys is a summary of what happened. You don't want to know what these ladies used my eyes to see. I don't know who jeez. They were horrible. They were horrible to the core. They were willing, like, it got to a point where it was not just about me leaving the apartment. Oh, because they wanted me to leave. They told me that they wanted me to leave the apartment. Like, look at the F13. They told me that that if I don't leave that apartment, like, the girl told me face to face, Mercy was in the room, that I need to leave the apartment. If I don't leave the apartment, then she's like, it's going to get worse for me. She literally told me. And that was exactly what they did. It wasn't just about me leaving the apartment anyway. It was about them getting me deported. And that was their mission. And they almost accomplished it. Only they were not God. They were not God. They thought they meant it for evil. But God actually meant it for good. So, I think I've been talking for an hour. I don't even know how this video is going to go, but that was what happened. A lot of you have been asking for the gist. This is the summary of the gist. I don't even think I don't even want to relieve it. That's why this has been 1 year. It's been 1 year. I'm telling you, this happened towards November last year, early December last year. This is the summary. It's been a year. And I'm just glad that I'm able to leave that behind me and just move forward with my life. But please be careful of the people you get in a room with when you go to study, because they can ruin you. They can. Oh God. Well guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the description box or comment section. I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.